Hi, everybody. Russ on the West End Network. Hope you are all safe and well. Hope your Thursday evening is going well. Well, it's coming to the end of in the UK. It's News at 10, where we bring to you the latest news that's happened over the last few hours that we obviously couldn't put together in the previous videos. We've got an injury related sort of injury related news stories today. Looking ahead to the Chelsea and Spurs game as well. Obviously, the West Ham women are currently playing Chelsea as we speak. No spoilers, not giving any spoilers away in the semi-final of the League Cup, the Conti Cup, where they will play Arsenal. The winners will play Arsenal in the final. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. No spoilers for you guys. So let's crack on. They've got three stories to talk about, all as around injuries. The first one is around our opponents on Saturday, Chelsea. And we've had quite a bit about them recently. We spoke to Scott Minto, who has a foot in both camps, at lunchtime today, about how Chelsea season's going, our season's going, his thoughts on Moyes, Declan Rice, all that type of stuff. Now, Chelsea could be without as many as 6 first-team players for the London Derby due to injury. In terms of who they are, N'Golo Kante is set to miss out. He's set to miss out the game. He's got a long-term hamstring injury, which will keep him out of action. He's kept him out of action since mid-August. Although he's back in training, they think it might be some way off before he returns to full fitness. His French compatriot Wesley Fofana, I know Anton mentioned it the other day. He's had a knee injury, but has a chance of returning for the trip to East London. Another summer signing, Dennis Zakaria. He's been injured for the last month with a thigh issue. He was pictured recovering. He was in training yesterday, so again, he may be there, but it might come too soon for him. They do have Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League on next Wednesday. So, as I said, one of the questions I said to Scott was, maybe they've got one eye on the Champions League because sort of the Premier League is gone really. They're ninth. They're not going to probably not even going to break into the top 4 in all honesty. So maybe they'll put all their eggs in the Champions League basket. Who knows? Elsewhere, Christian Pulisic, he had a knee injury last month in the game against Man City, and he's almost certain not to feature. Edouard Mendy, the goalkeeper, was not in the squad for the 0-0 draw to Fulham last week. He's gone surgery on a fractured finger, making him a doubt for the trip to London Stadium as well. And we know about Armando Broja as well, who missed out with a knee injury, which was done during a mid-season friendly in December. I mean, he's not going to be expected to be back until the summer at the earliest. They do have a returning Joao Felix, who returns back from his 3-game suspension, and also the Ukrainian international Mudryk, who I think is a very good player. He apparently has fully recovered from his cold, which was apparently hampered his performance against Fulham last week. So plenty of first teams out for Chelsea and a few returning as well. On our side, we've got a few. We've had a bit of obviously a bit of injury crisis. We've always injuries and West Ham go hand in hand this season and have done for many, many, many years, to be honest. In terms of our injuries, what we're up to for the Chelsea game. And again, this is before tomorrow. We'll have our press conference show. We listen to David Moyes, what he says. We obviously get the thoughts from John T. Coleman as well, who's actually in the press conference, and so we'll get his views of what Moisey says and what he's taken out of it. But in terms of what we're led to believe, there's positive news around the fitness of a key duo for West Ham ahead of the game against Chelsea. We've recorded just one defeat since the beginning of this year, although it's only just February, but it still sounds impressive. And that was a narrow 1-0. That was a narrow loss to Wolves the beginning of the year. Form's seen a rise in confidence in the recent weeks, and hopefully we're set to finally start climbing up this table a little bit and enduring a better second half of the season. Now, there were concerns after the Newcastle game that Jarrod Bowen was injured. He went off injured. He pulled up in the game in Newcastle and then it was substituted. it was to his foot, apparently. However, he's back in full training this week and should be in the squad to face Chelsea. Also, Danny Ings, who was on the bench for the Newcastle game and came on. However, there was a concern that he also picked up another knock again, literally within like 30 seconds of coming on the pitch. But he is also apparently back in full training as well and should be in the squad also on Saturday. Ex-WHU employee revealed that Kurt Zouma is potentially not far from returning from injury. He's missed a number of Premier League games this season recently due to a knee problem. Obviously, he had surgery on that knee problem as well, but he managed to get himself fit to play in the home win over Everton. After that, he had to sit out the draws against Newcastle with a hamstring injury. It remains unclear as to when the defender may return. Moyes is keeping his cards close to his chest as he always does. And a bit of gamesmanship, I think, around not giving us any time frames. But then again, with the Cornet sort of issue, maybe he doesn't know the time frames, in all honesty. Maybe it was an impact issue. It's believed, X says it's believed it's not as bad as people first thought in terms of Zuma's hamstring injury, and he could be back within a week or a couple of weeks. So hopefully that's the case. And also, hopefully with someone like Skarmaka as well, back for the Spurs game potentially, as he had his last plasma injection last Wednesday. He should be returning back. Also featured, and I also featured in the in West Ham sort of PR in terms of all the videos and content in terms of the training for the Chelsea game, ahead of the Chelsea game. Several academy players were featured very heavily in those photo shoots. The likes of Mbama was there. Heggie was there, having all the shots against him. Also featured were Freddie Potts. We had Schweier. We had Keenan was there, as well as centre back Keelan Casey as well. So they all featured for the first team when we played FCSB back in November in Bucharest. So it may be a case that maybe you might see a couple of them on the bench potentially. Who knows? And obviously, we spoke about the academy last night with Tony Carr, talking about his view on the academy and how it's changed probably since he first started to when he left and since subsequently. So check that. It's really, really interesting. About an hour and a half long from Mr. Academy. And finally, we've got Chelsea, and then next week we've got bloody Spurs, haven't we? Jeez, they come thick and fast in terms of London derbies. But West Ham have been handed some good news, some early good news ahead of our clash against Spurs, in terms of a key player of our bitter rivals has been ruled out. Obviously, we head to North London next Sunday for the London derby, and it seems it's been revealed on BBC and several other news sites that Spurs' captain and French international goalkeeper Hugo Lloris will miss the match after sustaining a knee injury, which could rule the player out for up to 8 weeks. And obviously, this coincides with what we just mentioned about, but the potential returns for Skarmaka, maybe a Kurt Zouma. It could help definitely build momentum gained in recent weeks, particularly with a good showing against the Blues on Saturday. And that's it, my friends. News at 10, as always. Tomorrow we'll have lunchtime live, so you can, the West Ham Club call, phone in, so you can come in and have your say about the game ahead. Or maybe in reflection about the Tony Carr interview we had, or Scott Minto interview we've had as well. Get your thoughts on that. Be fantastic. We'll be having the preview. We have the press conference. We'll also have Irish Tommy's late show. We may have Holly doing a tweet all about it. Then we'll have match day morning on Saturday. Hopefully we'll have a watch along. Me running around like Challenge Alika after the game, trying to get some people to talk on the way back to the station. And then we start all over again for the Spurs game. So take care, stay safe. Stay sweet dreams, or happy afternoon if you're in the Americas, or good morning for our APAC friends. Take care, stay safe, keep the faith, my friends. See you tomorrow.